Okay, awesome. Who wants to show what they have first? Or questions, I guess.
I'm still working on my application, so I'm not ready to show it.
Okay.
It doesn't work. I'm just struggling with it,
Okay.
but I'm
Right.
working. That's good.
Did you need help with anything?
Not yet. Since half of the day I didn't have the power connection. So if I will have questions, I'll email you.
Okay, sounds good. Ryan?
Where did it go? So maybe, yes. I have, maybe you can help me with one thing that I'm not sure about. So this is my sequence diagram.
Mm-hmm.
So my problem here is I can't figure out. So what I'm trying to do, once I get an image, so that works.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm trying to generate an image and getting backup an image path that will be inside a hash map, because I will, in a hash map, I want to have an image and the key will be like or and that master will be done with the calculations between the intervals between ends. So those will be the keys for each image. And the thing here is that how can I calculate that those interval events so what if I have more than 2 events or multiple events for onClick? I don't know how. I can't figure out how to get the interval between each onClick event.
Mm-hmm.
The interval for what?
For just the onClick event. So if you click on the screen and you click it again multiple times in a rhythmic way, you can calculate it and like on the times that they were clicked and the time in between.
Okay. So
But
why don't you just use a timer like you're doing right there?
yeah, but that's just for. Yeah, but if you use a timer, you still have
Just
to.
timer for it.
So that the timer will be displayed for like the game will like how many seconds it will be. The user will be able to play until it ends and stops the game. But I want to know how to calculate those events. So
You could still have a
those
timer and then just
and then
when you click the first time, because it's rhythms, right? And each rhythm has a certain interval or time between the next beat, if you will, right?
yeah.
So what if you just had a function that started a timer and ended when the next event was triggered, and then it saved that time, and then you have a hash map or an if statement or a switch or something like that that simply said, okay, if the first one is 5-second interval, and then it narrows it down to whatever's 5 seconds on that first beat. Does it make sense?
Yeah, kind of. I think I know
I think a
what you're
timer would
saying.
work. You just need
Yeah,
to
because I was trying
save.
to.
Sorry, go ahead.
I never found a formula or any way to do that. And probably there is one for a really complicated thing.
Well,
Or
for a sequence diagram, you don't need to. For this, you don't need to worry about building it. It's just all theoretical. You're not going to build this application, are you?
no.
Okay, yeah. So it's theoretical. Just make something up. I mean, it needs to make sense, but
Yeah,
it
yeah.
doesn't
That's why
have to necessarily work.
I just
Yeah. You
put
just need to
elapsed
set a timer.
real time minus downtime for each interval,
Mm-hmm.
something like that, and that's
Right.
And
I would say try just using a timer for the intervals and storing the times in an array, and then comparing that array to whatever rhythms you already have stored in a hash map or something like that.
Just to make
Yeah.
it too complicated.
Yeah, create a different timer that will not be displayed and use it for that.
Yeah. And I mean, this is for your disagree. So, I mean,
Yeah.
your sequence diagram here is like a billion notches above what I did, which is probably why I have to redo mine. But still, this is way. This is like agree or strongly agree, in my opinion. So.
Yeah, I agree with Greg. Just don't
And I
make
have-
it too complicated. Make it easy.
I'll try to do and keep going, but without complicating things. And this is the other part for the connection. But instead of combining them, I will have something like this and just reference this.
Right.
So
Like separate things.
yeah, I think this is much easier than the other one.
Much easier.
Yeah. Sweet. Well, it looks good. I mean,
It
from what
is.
I've learned about sequence diagrams, it looks good. So.
Yeah, the only thing that is like, fighting with is this one.
The loop?
And not the loop, but so I want the user to see an image, but this is returning an image path. So I'm thinking I can do like a file and read an image and image path there, but I don't know if this is correct or not.
All right. Sorry, guys. 1 second.
It's okay. It's okay.
So I know
So
that
Ryan, try to make it easier. Like Greg told you, you don't need to build the application. It is just a sequence diagram.
yeah. So I'm trying to use MVC for this is the view. I have my controller, and this hash map will be all the data. So the model is this one. So the view is trying to okay, I got an on-click event, send it to the controller, and the controller is like going to the listeners. So it's like get me an image, any image, doesn't matter which one. And this was just generated a new image, and the hash map will return the image path that will represent where it is stored somewhere in a folder. So it is returned to the controller, I think, or I don't know if it should be returned straight to the view because the model doesn't talk to the view. It only talks to the controller. So the controller will be the one that should return something to the view, I think. I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe ask Brother Larson.
Yeah.
If we can get a hold of him, that is.
Or maybe to give you a clue what you need to change.
Yeah,
Like
and
when
he
you
may
have
just say that that's good.
Hey, yeah, he told me, okay. What did he say? I'm doing very well. That's
Yeah,
all
it's really, really well. It's for sure.
Yeah, see? So for disagree, I mean, you've got it.
I think
If you want disagree, I would honestly just try to claim disagree fluency, and then you're good. And then you can focus on bumping up to agree or strongly agree afterwards.
Yeah, I'll do that instead because I don't want to keep.
or just maybe
myself.
ask him like I actually kind of have the same issue, even it's not an issue. Like he told me about my sequence diagram that it looks good, and I asked him like what does it mean, that did I like how to say, I have my disagree or not, and I'm still waiting for the answer.
Yeah, he does that to me too. You're doing great. This looks awesome. Okay, what about the fluency? Like,
And then after saying that again, can I go to disagree? Yes, you may.
So like maybe just ask him, and maybe he will tell you that you have your agree or strongly agree about your sequence diagram, and you are still like working on it, and it's already awesome. So just ask him.
Yeah, we'll
And
ask
we'll
him
see
today.
what. Mm-hmm.
Cool. I have a couple questions.
Yeah,
So
ask.
council slash, I want to show you guys what I've done so far.
Okay.
So first thing would be a question. Let me share my screen.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on. Okay. Let's see here. Whew, that's weird. All right. Okay. No, not this one. Yes, this one? No, this one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So so what I'm doing here is I'm interacting with Firebase. It's an online free JSON database that Google uses right now, or that they have as a service.
Mm-hmm.
So long story short, I get this. I'm using the HTTP URL connection to connect to my database. Okay. This is what that is. I verify that the URL, the HTTP request code coming back is 200, meaning that it's a good connection. I read in all the information here from the buffer, okay, and then I have a string that's called test that I parse with the QCJSON library that Brother Barney on campus made. That we're supposed to use for this class. And I cast it as a hash map into the contacts hash map that I've created. Okay, I'm making an address book. Now, that being said, this is my problem. I need to go through and iterate through that hash map and store all of those values inside contacts objects that I've created. Okay, so I have my contact object here, my Java bean. So I guess my problem is I can't iterate through it. So here's why, well, at least why, I don't know why. Here's what I've got. So I use a for each loop, and I've Googled how to iterate or use a for each loop with the hash map, and they say to use the entry object, which is more probably generic object, with a contacts or so your hash map dot entry set. So it's like it takes each set in your hash map.
Yeah.
Okay, now my problem is I only get to the first object, if you will. I can't get into the sub objects or attributes. Let me see if I can show you what I mean by that. Contacts to string. I can't remember what I had last night. It was get key. Okay, and then I'll show you here. All right. Okay, so I get somewhat, like I guess I get done the first layer in my hash map. But I've tried everything except for a normal for loop with the whole I++ stuff. Okay, so I gotta do this because I have to, let's see, this is,
The submit.
oh, did I throw an error? Gosh dang it. 75, get value. Why did it work just last night? Okay, well, anyways, so my problem is I can't get, oh, wait a second.
Yeah.
I think I know why. I used something special. Where was it? All right, well, I'm sorry I wasn't prepared for this. I think it was, Do you know how to use a string? So like value, and then comma, percent is the
equal sign.
no.
Mm-hmm.
In the outprint line, you can like have a string, and
Mm-hmm.
then just substitute those values in there. Maybe I can just try to print it. I think it's going to throw an error if I just try to print it plain. If it does, then Odin, hey, stop. And I'll try again. Okay, let's try again. And I threw an error again. Okay. I will, okay, so here's the thing. Each of my objects looks like this. This is Firebase, okay?
Mm-hmm.
I have a contacts node with objects or contacts, right? The key is Greg Hall, key is Jackie Hall, key is Johnny Bigelow, and then sub nodes are like city, first name, last name, phone number, ID, street, and so on.
Mm-hmm.
So I get as far as the first one, which is Johnny Bigelow. I get as far as that first node. I get to the key, but I have a problem accessing the values. Anyways, I didn't know if you guys had any ideas on how to iterate through a hash map, if you've ever done it, and if there's something I'm missing. I've tried to do...
As I understand, you're supposed to copy your hash map. I'm not really good at it, but I made it before, and I don't remember how I made it, but I remember that I just made a copy of, like, if you want to use the for each loop, you're supposed to copy your map, and then you can interact with your map.
Okay.
It's hard to tell you right now how I did it before.
I think I did it for my JSON. Oh, it didn't look like that.
Yeah?
It's not in JSON, so it should be in my collections, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
See, I get this when I think I'm on the right track. I get this error: for each not applicable to type Java lang object, which doesn't make. I just don't understand that.
I wish I can remember how I did it before.
Maybe I just do. I think I've tried that. Fired hash map found entry string. All right, sorry, I just want to try one more thing.
It's okay. It's okay. I think it was better to ask in our group, so we had time to look through.
For each not applicable to type. I get that all the time when I think I'm on the right track where it should, in theory, work. And then I try to get like a value, get the key, throws the same error. Get values. So hopefully I'll just try to talk to brother Larson and see, or I'll figure something else out. Anyways, let me show you my applications. So my first one is a car dealership application. Odin, sorry. is a car dealership application that more or less gives a manager or a customer the ability to see the cars or vehicles in the dealership like the dealership has. So starts off, welcome to Rexburg Woody dealership. My name is Jarvis. How may I assist you? And so I can list all my vehicle brands. Oh crap, it's gonna throw an error. Sorry. My database isn't up. Hold on. All right, let's try again. All right, so I can list all the vehicle brands. So here I've got Dodge, GMC, Chevrolet, Honda, so the vehicle makes. I can list all the vehicles, which I don't have any in my dealership right now. I can search for a vehicle. I do the make, so Ford, model, F-150, and then I don't have that. We do not carry that model vehicle because there's no cars on the dealership. I can see the warranty information for each major provider here. And there's also a manager menu that lets the manager go through and add a make, model, color, car, updated car, remove a car, the whole thing. So if I want to add, not a make, let's just go add a car. I want to do a Dodge Ram 1500, and I want to make it red. And the year is 2017. The retail price is like 50 grand, I think, right now. And the VIN, that's right. So I use the VIN for the car as the ID. So I have to actually make it 17 characters. Okay, so vehicle successfully added. Now if I go through to list all my vehicles, there's the Dodge Ram that I added right here. So anyways, that's what the first application is. It's just demonstrating my knowledge of Hibernate, Java collections, Java beans, application controller pattern, and things like that. This other one, briefly, is my address book. That's still in the process of being fully functional, but it works more or less. So I interact with a database called Firebase Online. Let me just let this pull up. Okay, so I'm gonna add Vicky on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Antonova.
Okay, I'm gonna go 1, 2, 3 test.
Okay. Thank you.
And then I'll go, come on. Wow. South Carolina works. All right, so submit. It goes to a handler, still work in progress, but here's Vicky.
Yes, here I am.
And has all the information that you had there that I entered in.
Good job.
So I did that by using the HTTP URL connection. And I did the connection and everything manually. They have libraries out there to interact with Firebase. Makes it super easy. But I couldn't use those because I had to prove my knowledge of the HTTP URL connection. So here I'm doing it. So the URL is, the way Firebase works is you have to give it the database URL plus the node you want to access directly. I create a new connection with this URL. I want to use the get method because I'm retrieving data. And then I need to make sure that I set a property as authorization as my API key. So pretty much what lets me get to my database. I connect, and then this one is actually polling data. This is like my get method that I made. I have a post method here where I actually connect to submit data to this. So I use, again, the QC-JSON library. Yeah, I forgot. Yes, there we go. I again use the QC-JSON library to have my object that I create. Where is it? Oh, so I have just a user contact. Where the heck did it go? Okay, here it is. I pass in contact when I post. So in my handler, when you use the post method, when you submit something as opposed to retrieve data, it creates a contact and sets all the attributes to what I pull from the form that I submit. Okay. Then I create a new Firebase object, and I pass all of those things in the try catch, and I pass in that contact. So I'm using that same contact here in my post method, and I stringify it, meaning it takes the object and literally makes it into a JSON object or a JSON string. And then I write that to my database. And that's it. It's fairly simple once you figure it out, but it took me forever to figure it out. So, anywho, so that's kind of what I've been working on. That's where I'm at right now. I'm hoping all of this will get me at least to agree on most of the topics, save the UML diagrams. I'll need to work on those separately. But once I'm done, it should work nicely.
So maybe this will help you for the loop. So those are different methods to loop through a hash map.
All right, hold on. It's redirecting me.
As I understand, you suppose just put your items, because, like, I don't know, is it what you need or not, but it is about the deleting the items, and it's where I was talking about the copy of your hash map. Maybe it's helpful or not, we'll see, but you will have this example.
Yeah, see, I've a lot of these I've seen and used, but for some reason it's just, I might be doing it wrong. It's most likely the fact that I'm doing it wrong. But I haven't been able to get anything to work when I get to the second layer. So I can access the first key, so I could access key Vicky Bond, but I can't access Vicky Bond's first name, or Vicky Bond's last name, or Vicky Bond's address.
Yeah, I see.
So
you just need separately access to some information.
Right. So I'll try to look through again what you sent me, Vicky, and what Brian sent me, and see if I can't figure it out. Because that was kind of the last step to making my little address book thingy work. So cool. Well, yeah, pretty much it. Just sharing time. Is there anything else you guys want to bring up, talk about? I think we just have the rest of this week, and that's it.
I think so.
Maybe Brother Larson will let us work into next week, but everything says in theory it should be ready to go by this week, the end of this week. So
I'm just curious about my diagrams, because I know that I'm supposed to have the disagree on all diagrams till I can start to work on the personal application.
And also the journal report.
Yeah, it is for the next week, as I understand, but I don't remember. It's still Tuesday or something else. I just need to look through.
That doesn't take too long yet. I don't know what I'm doing yet. I'll just be working on a diagram, and I'm gonna do another.
Brian, not just focus on your diagrams. Try to separate time and work on your application too.
I will do another app. More diagrams for that app first.
I am working on my application at the same time. I'm trying to prove my diagrams. All what I have for degree level, just my sequence diagram and state diagram. And it's it. And I just need to hear from Brother Larson if I'm right or I need to change something. So, and also I'm working on my application. It looks good, but it doesn't work, so I just need to work on the technique.
Well, here's the thing: is your applications don't have to work.
Really?
They don't. No, they don't have to be fully functional applications. You just have to demonstrate your knowledge of the topics. So
Thank
for me,
you.
if I really wanted to, I don't have to do the hash map thing at all. I'm a perfectionist. So I want to make sure it works. But in the end, it does not have to work. The layout of your application, the use of all the different parts of it just has to be correct.
Okay. Thank you for telling me that.
Yeah, I'm tempted to just drop it and not make it work, but I really want it to.
Because I'm trying to do something that it will work.
Yeah. Yeah, if I can't get it to work by tonight, then I'll just drop it, and I have to work on my UML diagrams the rest of the week because I'm needing some help in that area. So
Yeah.
I feel like UML diagrams, everyone hates them. They're just terrible.
It's crazy.
Anyways, thanks so much for meeting up today, guys. We'll meet Thursday, and then depending on what Brother Larson states or says, if we have the next week to work on finishing touches.
So we will meet on Tuesday.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Yeah, if we have the next week, so finals week, to work on our stuff still, then we'll meet again. If not, our last day will be Thursday.
Yeah. And are you planning to go to the office hours on Thursday or not?
Yes.
Yes.
So you can ask him about the due date for everything. Also about the portfolio.
Hopefully he'll be a little lenient when it comes to the UML diagrams. For me, that's the hardest part. I can write code all day long, but the UML diagrams for me is what I'm banging my head against the table for. So we'll see. I feel like, at least the way he's been is, as long as you're working on it and you're constantly trying to show him that you're improving, then he's okay with it. From what I've seen. He may just slam down the hammer and be like, no, we're done. So we'll see.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So we'll see each other Thursday morning, and then we'll do office hours, and Vicky will keep you posted on what he says, okay?
Yeah. See you on Thursday. Good luck.
Good luck, and don't hesitate to reach out if anyone needs help.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, bye-bye.
Bye.